1, 2, 3, 4. Sounds real.
Sounds real.
This is the Sounds Real show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jack.
And on today's show, we're going to talk about GratitudeTx.
Yes.
So everything we say, of course, is our opinion. And so we recently saw GratitudeTx play at, of course, the Rock House. And it was a good show, of course. I really like GratitudeTx. You know, I heard them last year. That was probably the first time I heard them. It was on my new music mix. So I checked them out. I played it to you. You liked it. And I said, we missed them last year. They did come last year. Unfortunately, you know, we couldn't make it. But we did this time. And I'm glad we did.
Yes,
I'm glad we did. So a little bit about them. If you guys don't know, they're a Christian hardcore band. So they do put out a positive message, which I like. It's good. And they're from Corpus Christi.
They're from Corpus Christi.
So I like that. And with the show was Wrath Upon the Skies. They're from Corpus Christi as well.
Yes.
And they played also at the show. And then there were a couple of other local bands there in Barbarian, Texas. Ended the show.
Texas actually headlined it.
Yeah, they did
headline. El
headline.
Paso, Texas, yeah.
And I give them kudos to them too because I really like Barbarian, Texas too. And hopefully we can get them on the show and do an interview with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, my favorite word, absolutely. So, because I always say it.
Absolutely,
absolutely. Guys. You know, GratitudeTx was awesome. I actually picked up the 2 CDs, and I strongly suggest to pick these up. They're only $5 right now. I believe they're selling them on Bandcamp as well. You can find them at the shows. They are EPs, so there's only 5 songs in each. But if you pick up both, then you got yourself a full-length album. Yeah. What I really like about this latest one, it's a hardcore band, but this one, they do a little bit of emo core on here, and that last song is a monster. It is really, really good. Very emotional. That's one thing about this band, too. And I don't know if it's because they do talk about religious themes. They are Christians, and they actually promote that, which is pretty awesome. And so there's a very positive message that they're sharing with their audience.
Yes.
But the music, believe me, it holds up. It's not like worship music in any way that you feel like,
if you just walked into the venue, you wouldn't think it's Christian hardcore.
No, it punches you
in your face.
It's in your face, man. And what I like about their style of music also is that they use those crunchy riffs.
Yes.
You know, big crunchy riffs, and and the vocalist has a lot of power behind that.
Yes, he has a dynamic range, which I like.
Mm-hmm. And they do on that what I call that, I guess, an emo core song. Their clean vocals are just as good.
Yes.
However, it's a very, very, for me personally, when I was listening to that song, because I listened to it several times this morning, very emotional song. Very, I don't know, hit me in a different way. So, and maybe it's because we're around Easter, but I don't know, but it did hit me a different way this morning. You got to check them out. They have a lot of energy. I do have one criticism about the show, and we talked about this earlier, is that the sound that night just was not up to par for the Rock House. I don't know what was going on. I don't want to fault anybody. We did notice our usual sound man
wasn't there.
Yeah, wasn't there. So the sound was a little flat, and it got a little muddy at times. The drums just weren't punching as hard as they usually do.
Everything kind of sounded like
everything was
on the same level, on one level.
Yeah,
everything was not.
It wasn't balanced.
Yes.
In the sense where when they drop the beat, where you sometimes you feel it.
Yeah,
you like physically.
It's very distinguished.
Yeah, you drop that thing and it's just like boom, you feel it. And that night, it just didn't have it. I mean, they sounded great. They're tight band and everything. So I don't fault the band at all. But for whatever reason, the sound was a little muddy that night. And I think because of that, they're at kind of a disadvantage.
Yeah, it didn't do them justice. I felt that they were a little bit robbed that night. But, overall, they kicked butt. They still put on a good show. But like he said, like Jack said, the sound just wasn't there that night.
Yeah.
And the sound did progress more and more as the other bands played. But when we first walked in, there was a local band playing, and wow, it was really kind of off.
Yeah,
then Wrath Upon the Skies played, and it was a little bit better, but not by much. By the way, they were good too.
Yeah, they're really good.
It's a drummer that sings.
Yeah,
and he's high energy type of guy.
They're
really cool.
They're really good. But I think they're at a disadvantage as far as the sound wasn't up to the intensity of what they were doing as far as the music. It just didn't hit you the same way. Like we saw steak. I always want to say steakhouse, but steak sauce mustache, and holy smoke, I'm still suffering the consequence of not wearing earplugs last night.
We'll hold that for that show, that segment. But as far as Wrath Upon the Skies, I liked them. They were having fun. They weren't taking it too seriously. They were sloppy. But it was good, good sloppy. It was fun.
In a weird way, I love that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they were just having fun with it. They were a little sloppy at certain parts, but I don't fault that because they had a lot of energy. And to be honest with you, I kind of like when a band goes up there and there's an honest rendition of what they're doing. And God knows, we've been sloppy before on stage, but it wasn't sloppy in a bad way. It was loose. Yeah. I would say it's loose. It was very loose. It was a lot of energy.
Nah, it's just they were having fun.
They were having fun, and I like that.
And so, GratitudeTx, like I said, we talked to them personally. We did a little promo on Instagram. Check it out. Mm-hmm. And they told me they're working on a new album. Okay, yes. Well, a new EP. They prefer EPs. Mm-hmm. He told me, and which is cool. So they're kind of trying to drop it by fall, hopefully. You guys check it out on streaming platforms, or if you catch them in town, hopefully they'll.
Hopefully they'll be
physical
back.
media. So
yeah. Since they're a Texas band, we're really hoping that they're going to come across again.
Oh yeah, so, I foresee them coming back again, and
hopefully
they'll do a proper show with the proper sound and everything. And so that show, to me, I mean, a little breakdown. The show. I thought the guitarist was really good. The vocalist had that dynamic range. From growls to cling to even a little bit of squealing.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that. They played my favorite song.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. And they closed it with it.
Which song?
It was, what is it? Barabbas?
Yes.
Yes,
Barabbas.
That was a really good song, good track. And just on stage, it was just that punishing sound that they have. And it was a really good show. So
Sorry.
Anyway, and then of course, Barbarian hit the stage afterwards,
and they always nail it.
Yeah,
I'm just making a mess here.
Like I said, we've seen it so many times.
We've seen them a lot, yeah, and they always nail it. They're probably one of the most entertaining bands that you can see in El Paso. Yeah, so they're very high energy.
And I just want to say it was the singer's birthday.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Tom. They had cake and everything, so that was really cool,
Yeah, and that's what
a lot of support. I like that. I noticed there was a lot of support.
And that's what I like also about the Rock House is that it invites kind of that community feel. You start seeing the same guys, start seeing the same people coming to some of these local shows, and you get to talk to them. And sometimes that dynamic changes when a band comes that no one knows, but bands like Barbarian Texas actually brings in that family element and what have you, and other ones as well. No Suffer was one last night too.
Yeah,
a lot of people want to go see them.
So in conclusion, GratitudeTx played about 35 minutes, I would say. 35-minute set. All the songs were tight.
How many songs?
Oh, I don't remember, man.
There's a lot, yeah.
Maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah, probably.
But they, their songs are, from 2 to 4 minutes. So they had some good songs, overall, it was a good concert. I give them thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Buy the CDs.
Check them out. Definitely recommend GratitudeTx. And like I said, we're trying to get Barbarian on the show and a bunch more bands and different styles. Just leave it, bro.
Yeah,
okay. All right, you got it.
You got it.
So we're gonna have even different musical styles.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I was talking to. Of course, we're gonna get Sabian once again, a hip hop rap artist of El Paso, Texas. But I also talked to another hip hop rap artist by the name of Accurate.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
He kind of reached out to me, so I've actually heard his stuff. It's really good, and they're going to be promoting a show that's coming up in May. So hopefully we'll have him and the promoter. I'm not sure who he's going to bring on with him, but we're going to probably have that within the next week or so. Hopefully, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Sounds good then. Yeah. So Accurate and Sabian, get ready for to come on over and do an interview.
So, like always, make sure you press that like button, share button, and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
At Sounds Real.
At Sounds Real.
915 on our YouTube channel and at Sounds Real 915 on Instagram.
Oh, and I just want to do one little shout out to these new snazzy polo that I'm wearing that Apple got me. So.